I'm on notes, I'm on notes, I'm on notes, I'm on notes. Hello, this is Reverend Marvin Harada, Bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America. My message today is reflections on the 75th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. This year, in August, marks the 75th anniversary of those two tragic events in our world history: the atomic bombing on Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, and the atomic bombing of the city of Nagasaki on August 9th, 1945. As a minister at the Orange County Buddhist Church for 33 years, I came to know several atomic bomb survivors, survivors of the Hiroshima atomic bombing, in our Orange County Buddhist Church Sangha, our membership. And I've had some very moving conversations with some of those individuals on what they experienced the day that the atomic bomb dropped. I'd like to share a couple of stories with you today. The first is about our member, Helen Fukino. She was just a young girl the day of the bombing. Her family lived more on the outskirts of the city, so they survived the blast. But once the blast hit, her father said, "We have to go." And they ran from the home. Little Helen, young girl, she just had time to grab her prized possession in life. It was her favorite purple blanket, her purple blankie. And the family rushed out. When they went a ways, they came to a river. And because many people were burned in the atomic blast, people had gone into the river to extinguish the burning of their bodies. But the people who had jumped into the river to extinguish their burning bodies could now not climb out of the river because of the slippery, steep riverbank. And they were calling for help. Helen remembers that her father took her favorite blankie, and with that blanket was able to pull many people out of the river on that day of the atomic bombing. That was one of the vivid memories that she had on that fateful day. Another of our members, Junji Sarashina, recalls that when the blast hit, he was knocked completely flat. Fortunately, he was facing away from the blast at the time, so he was only burned on his back and not as severely burned as he could have been. Junji, like Helen, came across a river with people who had gone into the water because of their burns. A man reached his arms out to Junji to ask for help out of the river. But when Junji grabbed the man's arm, his skin came off of his arm. We can't even imagine the kind of horror and destruction that the survivors like Junji saw that day in Hiroshima. Maybe some of you have visited the Atomic Bomb Museum in Hiroshima, and they have footage and graphic pictures of the horror of what the atomic bomb did on that day. Well, I had this very moving conversation with Junji about his experience that day, and he said, Sensei, I don't really believe in a hell in the afterlife, because I saw hell with my own eyes that day in Hiroshima. I think that only someone who has seen hell with their own eyes can make that kind of statement. Many religions talk about hell, and I sort of see it as a construct of unenlightened man, saying that, oh, these people fall into hell or those people fall into hell. It's a reflection of the unawakened mind that discriminates and judges. Well, Junji, in that same conversation, also shared with me, Sensei, if I can see hell with my own eyes, then why can't I see the Pure Land with my own eyes? And he mentioned that sometimes he's having dinner with his family, with his grandchildren, and he's just so grateful and so happy, and he thinks to himself, isn't this the Pure Land? What could be better than this very moment I'm experiencing with my family? Well, this issue of, is the Pure Land in the here and now? Is it something that we know in this life, or is it something that we encounter when we die? This is a very highly debated issue in Shin Buddhism and in Shin Buddhist theology, if you would like to call it theology. But there are many who think like Junji. And one of those individuals is the famous Myokonin Saichi. The Myokonin are the most deeply spiritual people in our Shin Buddhist tradition. Many of the Myokonin were uneducated, but they came to have deep and profound understanding of the Buddha Dharma, of the Nembutsu. The great D.T. Suzuki is the person who introduced the Myokonin to the West in many of his writings. Well, Saichi, in one of his poems, writes about hell and the Pure Land. Hell and the Pure Land. And his poem goes as follows. It's in, I have it, well, I'd like to quote Saichi's poem. It goes as follows. I cannot fall into hell. Hell is right here. This place is hell, and hell is where we dwell. Where is Saichi's Pure Land? Saichi's Pure Land is right here. Where is the borderline of the Pure Land in this world? The eyes are the borderline of the Pure Land in this world. Where is Saichi's Pure Land? Saichi's Pure Land is in my heart. It is, Namu Amida Butsu. This floating world is wretched, but this floating world becomes the Pure Land. I'm joyful, Namu Amida Butsu. In this world, I enjoy the Pure Land. This world transforms into the Pure Land. I'm joyful, Namu Amida Butsu. I'm very grateful to have had those moving conversations with people like Junji, who in his own religious life has seen with his own eyes both hell and the Pure Land. Hell and the Pure Land. May the experiences of those atomic bomb survivors, and may their memories of that fateful day be the wisdom for the whole world, as those survivors implore all of humanity to live in peace and harmony. Shinran Shonin, the founder of our tradition of Buddhism that we call Jodo Shinshu, wrote a very beautiful poem that goes as follows. May the Buddha Dharma spread, and may the world be at peace. May the Buddha Dharma spread, and may the world be at peace. I think that the survivors of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they all aspire for a world of peace and harmony. And people of the world today, in 2020, 75 years after the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, don't we all aspire for a world of peace and harmony? Isn't that deep within the heart and minds of all people? And so Shinran Shonin's words to me have great meaning for us as we live sometimes in a world of chaos and conflict. May the Buddha Dharma spread, and may the world be at peace. I think that as the world comes to know the Buddha's teachings, may all people come to see the futility of war and conflict. And may we come to realize Shinran Shonin's words, may the world be at peace. Naman Navats, Naman Navats, Naman Navats, Naman Navats. Thank you very much.